Hi everybody, Miss Leslie here from Salinas Public Library. Today I'm going to show you some of the activities that you can do with our first preschool kit to go. And the theme for this one was Halloween. So let's take a look and see what's in that kit. In your kit you should have a set of 5 papers, a small container of Play-Doh, 4 straws, a pair of kid-sized scissors. These can actually be used for lefties or righties. And at this age, kids are going to be experimenting with their handedness, so let them try either way. The scissors should work. You also have a collection of 16 scary spiders. I've just put mine in a little bowl to make it easier to move them back and forth. And you should also have 14 assorted Halloween erasers. Let's get started with our first activity. The first activity I'm going to show for you is sorting. You'll see on one of your sheets you have 4 boxes. These are used to sort either the Halloween erasers or the spider rings. You could sort either of those by color. You can combine them and sort by color that way, any way that you want to do it. So you're just going to let the kids put the erasers into the right square and then talk about how everything in the square here is black, or everything in the square here is a cat, everything in this square is a ghost. So you can just go ahead and sort those out and see how many you get. Once you've got them on there, this is a good time to practice counting, of course. And when you're using items, we can actually be showing that each time we count a number, it represents one thing. It's the one-to-one correspondence. And kids, when they first learn to count, they're just going to learn it by rote. They don't really understand that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 refers to any specific number. That's the second step. So first they learn to count by rote, and then they're going to count and sort of be pointing at things, but maybe not hit it on each number. Like they might say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5. So you want to work next on that one-to-one correspondence. Each time you touch or count an item, you say a different number. So 1, 2, 3. So that's a good way to play with these. As I said, you could decide to sort them by color instead. So you could do all the white things there, all the orange things here, all the black things here. Oh, and I guess green wants to be my other color, so there's green. You could do it any way you want, just practice that sorting. It's a good skill for kids to practice, and it will be important later on for their math development. Here's another math skill to practice, and that is graphing. When you graph things, you could create a visual representation of a number, and it's a good way to learn how to talk about more, less, fewer, most, least, things like that. You could go ahead and do this again with your erasers or with your spider rings, whatever they find more interesting. We're going to do the same sort that we did before, so go ahead and do this as a sorting activity as well as a graphing activity. And this is a physical graphing. We're not actually coloring or drawing on it. We're just using the items, one in each square, to represent the number. So when you get through this, you will be able to see, oh, I've got to hurry up and graph them for you. You'll see which one we have the most of, which one we have the least or fewest of, and if there are any that have the same number. Okay. So here, because we've stacked them, it makes it really easy to see what is the most. Which one do we have the most of? You could talk about that and then go ahead and do your one-to-one counting again. Or maybe you want to, I don't know, just put all the white ones in here, and then you're going to have to guess what that number is. It's even bigger. But whatever number it goes up to is how many they've got there. Here's another number or math skill that you could practice too. Put some items out in small piles, and again we're going to talk about most, least, most, or fewest, and you can just look at the 2 piles and ask them to tell you which one has more. Now we don't necessarily want them to be counting, we just want them to judge based on the number. by the time we know how to do our simple math and everything, when we look at a group of things, I don't think any of you pointed to those to count 1, 2, 3. You need to be able to eventually realize without counting that, oh, that's 3. You know, and you guys are all going to know what this is when I put it down. Oh, that's 2. We didn't have to count that. That has got this big long name. It's called subitization, and it's, again, an important math skill that's going to lay the basis for later development. So practice with that and just, you know, set out a few of them. How many is that? 3. And then you can go back and count. You can also say, how can we make them all have the same? And that would be a simple, you're actually starting on some addition and subtraction. So just another thing that you can do with these fun manipulatives. And it makes it a lot more fun when you're doing it with this than something else. You could do the same thing with your spider rings, whatever they like best. You can even put them all on your fingers, maybe put some on one hand and some on the other and do the same thing. Which one has most? How many do I have? So lots of fun with Halloween toys and counting. Here's one that practices both math skills and storytelling or comprehension skills. With this, I've got 4 pictures down here. Oh, I also have a runaway spider. I have 4 pictures down here, a pumpkin growing in a field, a little boy cleaning out the pumpkin, 2 kiddos carving it, and then the finished jack-o'-lantern. What you're going to want to do here is cut out these 4 pictures and go ahead and make up a story together with your little one about, I don't know, this once upon a time, Joe went to the pumpkin patch. He really wanted to find just the perfect pumpkin, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to go on and make a story that will use these pictures. Then you want to mix them up after you've cut them out and say what happened first in the story. So this first, next, last, or beginning, middle, end involves kiddos getting to learn or hear the story, understand it, and retell it in a way. The cards will help them to retell it. There'll be little reminders for their memories, but we also have the sequencing aspect. So there's an activity for you that will work their comprehension, math skills, understanding, retention, tons of stuff, all while you're having fun telling stories. And here is our fun cutting sheet. Cutting is an important preschool skill. What you want to be doing is building the muscles in the hands. When a child first starts to use scissors, it takes a lot of work. To open these back up, that's a fine motor skill that kids are not going to have yet right away at 3 or 4 or 5. It's going to take some practice. So we want to let kids get as much practice with scissors as possible. As I said, these can be used by a lefty or a righty. They're going to cut either way, which is good because kids are going to switch back and forth until they find the one they prefer. With this sheet, we've actually got 2 things that we can do here. Using a crayon, they can trace the line. That's going to work those muscles and get them better able to manipulate a pencil, or not a pencil, a crayon would be better. A crayon is going to take a bit more work, but less work than a pencil to get a mark on there. So first they can just follow the lines, the straight ones, the curved ones, all around. And then after they've done that, you can cut these out to make 4 strips and then cut the different shapes. And I will tell you that some of these are really tricky. So if they get frustrated, just keep working on it, try something different. Or if this one's too hard, just go up this side and go up this side. Make this work for your kiddo. You know where they are and what they need to do, so you be the teacher that you are. You're the best teacher that they will ever have, guaranteed. So this one is for practicing with writing and with cutting. All right, I bet you've been waiting to find out what that Play-Doh is for. Now is the time to get your Play-Doh out. I have green. We had I'd say we had probably 20 different colors, so who knows what color you're going to get. You're also going to need your straws now, and you're going to need your little spiders and maybe your scissors. We're going to use the Play-Doh just to make a holder for the straws. Now you can use your full-length straws, or to make this a little easier, you can go ahead and just cut them in half or close. I obviously didn't quite get half there, but you get the picture. I'm just gonna shape my Play-Doh into like a little cross because I don't want to separate it into separate bits, but you could just make 4 little balls and spread them out, or however you want to do it. We're basically using the Play-Doh to hold up the straws. So here we go. I should probably cut another one so I can do all 4 here. And mine may end up being too close together. I'm just doing it for expediency so it doesn't take me as long. There, I'll just show with 3. So once you have your 4 spokes, you're going to use this for color sorting again, but this is also going to really work the fine motor skills. It does take a bit of work to get these spiders apart from each other. I know that for a fact because I put together 100 of these kits and counted out 16 spiders for each of you. So I had a lot of these guys. I had 1,600 plastic spiders. Too many. There are probably still some on my floor, but we're just going to sort them by color. But this, as I said, it's working the fine motor skills too. So, nice. I need to work on my fine motor skills. I missed that one. So you're just going to go ahead and sort them by color. And then again, you could talk about most, fewest, least. You can mix them all together. If your kiddos are already good with the sorting and everything, if they already understand what a pattern is, you could do these in a pattern. The first pattern that most kids are going to learn is an A-B-A-B. So you just use 2 colors and do orange, black, orange, black, and then ask them what comes next. Here's another one using our Play-Doh. Do what you want to do with Play-Doh, whatever you want to do. Squish it down or roll it out or pinch it off. These are all exercising those hand muscles, getting them ready for when they go into kindergarten and they're going to be expected to hold a pencil. So strengthen those hands by having some fun. Here's another fun thing to do with your Play-Doh. Go ahead and roll it out. Make it as long and as thin as you want to. And then you're going to be shaping it into a letter. So here we go. I guess I should have made my snake a little longer here, but here we go. We can make an A, and make an S, And as you make these letters, you can have them then trace with their finger, and you can repeat the sound that the letter makes, and see if you can think of 2 or 3 or more words that start with that sound. Silly, so, soda. So that's a good way just to practice some alphabet recognition and some sound recognition too. Now, I am sure that you're going to come up with lots of things that you can do with these spider rings or these erasers, but here's another fun one, and this will work knowledge of prepositions. So words like on, in, under, beside, above, below. And you could just take turns with this. You could say, you could either give your child the direction of put a spider on the Play-Doh, or you can narrate what you're doing yourself and have them repeat it. I'm going to put a spider under the container. Or you can add a number component in here. Please put 2 spiders in the cup. 1, 2. Now, here's a trick to make it harder. If you want to go for the gusto here, you can try and give 2 instructions at the same time. This is a lot more difficult for little ones to keep in their head and to remember what they were supposed to do. So you could say something like, put 1 spider under the cup and put 2 spiders on top of the cup. So 1 spider under, 2 spiders on. And okay, if you really want to go fancy, you can try and do 3 or more instructions, but I would never remember that myself. So if your kiddos do, awesome for them. All right, now it's time for some singing. Singing is something that I love to do, and I know that your kiddos love to hear you sing. Even if you think you don't have a good voice, they are going to love nothing more than to hear you singing or to be singing together with you. Singing is also a great way to learn language. You learn the rhythm and the pace and the idea of syllables, because in singing we tend to break up the words on different notes. So anyway, that's a bunch about singing, but let's just do it. We're going to use the old standby here, the Itsy Bitsy Spider. You can do that using the actual little spider rings and move them so that you're getting a movement component too. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. But you can also change the words and say that the spider is going somewhere else. The itsy bitsy spider went up the plastic cup. Or you can use those prepositions again. The itsy bitsy spider hid underneath the cup. Down came the rain and woke the spider up. Wake up! Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. Then the itsy bitsy did whatever he wanted. You can also do the colors. The green plastic spider. Or you can do numbers. 1, 2, 3. 3 big spiders went up the water spout. So have some fun with it. Change the words. Change what's going up. Change how it's going up. Did it crawl? Did it, I don't know, tumble? Did it cartwheel? Excuse me. Anything that you can think of, and have it go up different things in your house. Use the environment around you to add into your play. Now the other song that we've got on here, it's not really a song, it's a rhyme, but it's one that is done in just about every preschool and kindergarten at Halloween time, and that is the 5 Little Pumpkins. And I'm just going to do it once so that you hear how it goes, but again, anything you want to make up with this, anything goes. So we've got our 5 fingers. 5 little pumpkins sitting on a gate. The first one said, "Oh my, it's getting late." The second one said, "There are witches in the air." The third one said, "But we don't care." The fourth one said, "Let's run and run and run." And the fifth one said, "I'm ready for some fun." Then whoosh went the wind and out went the lights, and the 5 little pumpkins rolled out of sight. So go ahead and take turns doing that one. See if your little one remembers what each pumpkin says. If you make up an action to go with each of those lines, like, "Oh my, it's getting late," hands to your cheeks, "witches in the air," look up at the air. If you give those visual clues, they might be able to remember the words more quickly, and then you could really have a back and forth with that. So have fun singing and have fun saying rhymes. And one more activity that is always fun is to move around in different ways. You can use the little items here to be your inspiration, or you can come up with your own different ways to move. You might want to say, "Move like a cat." How would a cat move? And then you can move around on all fours, arch your back, bring your tail up, or float like a ghost, or roll like a pumpkin, or crawl like a spider, or I don't know, what does the skeleton do? Rattle like a skeleton? Just think of different ways of moving, and then you can add some additional fun into there. So when you're crawling like a spider, crawl to the chair. Now sit on the chair like you are a pumpkin. Just have some fun with it. It's all about talking and having fun together. So of course our 5 things that we say, the 5 practices of early literacy, are talk, sing, read, write, play. And hopefully you will have fun with all of those things with our first preschool kit. We're going to have another one coming up in 2 weeks, so make sure you pick that one up too. Have fun, and if you have any questions, just send us an email or give us a call.